Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. We have a full body conditioning session that we are going to get through today. Starting off with the warm up, we do not need any equipment, but for our session itself, I am going to be using a lot of these guys over here, my dumbbells, and that is pretty much it. And of course, our mat. We are going to want to put on our supportive footwear as we will be jumping around a lot, although I do have wonderful options for those of us who do not jump as we're low impact. Okay, that is all. Let's get you started with the warm-up, which again is our body and our mat. We're going to come to the very end of the mat, hip width apart in our feet, soft knees, hinging the hips back, feeling that stretch in the back of the legs as we reach our hands to the floor, walking on out into this full plank position. We're going to step in, put it back, step in, put it back, and then reverse, walking right back up to our feet, reaching our arms above our head, giving ourselves that side bending action that we know and love. It's going to help us open up everything down each side of the body, one time to each way. And then we'll do it again 3 more times total with just that stepping in as close as we're comfortable with. Maybe you get your foot beside the hand. Maybe it's hanging out behind the hand. We're not forcing anything, especially at this hour of the day, as we probably haven't done too much movement before this. So we'll go through 1 more of these, walking down to the bottom, stepping in, coming all the way up, giving ourselves 1 more of those side bend, and then we have 3 more of these walkouts. What we're going to do at the bottom is similar. We're going to add a little something by stepping in and then opening up towards that leg, back down on the floor, switching to the other side, opening up to the other side. And then once again, we'll walk up to the top, but we're going to forget that side bend. Just stand up tall and do it again. So we'll go through 3 of these ones now with that bottom focused, stepping in, opening up. You got it. Let's get it. 3 of them total to get ya moving. First thing, there you go. So again, we're working with whatever range we have. Maybe we're able to step in a little bit closer on these next 3 as we are loosening everything up. There you go. Okay, so we'll get through that last one, and then we are going to go into our squat stance. So I have my feet a bit wider than my hips, angle out on my toes, sitting down into a squat, reaching my hands towards the floor. We don't have to touch, but we're going in that direction, and then we're standing, rotating. I'm going to turn my hips, pivot onto my toe, and reach up to the opposite side. Come back down to the squat. Exhale, reaching to the other side now. Again, I'm trying to turn the hips, pivoting on that opposite foot. That's 2, and we're doing 10 of these total. So we'll go through alternating reps, right side and left side. This one will probably feel a nice stretch down the front of that hip, the one that we are turning away from. And again, we're doing 10 total, 5 to each side of the squat and the reach. There you go. 10 total. 5 on each. Very nice. Okay, so we'll finish that one up, and then we are getting right back down into a plank to stay. We're going to get into this high plank position, reaching our hips up to the ceiling, feeling that stretch through the back of the legs, pushing up onto our toes, holding that for a second or 2, and then we'll come back down into the strong plank. 3 of these total, where again, we're just pushing the hips up, opening up the back of the leg from the heel to the butte, 3 times total. Don't go anywhere once you're done, because we have 3 more, but this time at the top, we're going to add in our hip walkouts. So I'm dropping opposite heel while bending opposite knee, getting that nice stretch in the back of the legs. I'm going to do 6 of these total, 3 on each side, and then we'll drop back down to the plank. This one's going to get us going nice and warm, that's for sure. A little bit of blood flow to the head. 6 of these hip walkouts, 3 on each. The heel does not need to touch the floor, but we are going in that direction. We'll get 1 more of those, again, reaching the hips up, walking them out, getting that stretch in the back of the legs. Feels so good. And then we are going to stand back up. On to the next one, which on my list here is a side lunge. So what we want to do for these side lunges is get ourselves into this wide set stance. We're going to reach opposite hand towards the floor, having our arms come up into this T position. Arm is going to stay up as we reach over to the side, trying to travel in that lateral motion. So I'm pushing the hips back behind me to try to keep knee back behind the toe. And again, arms are going to stay lifted up in this T when they're not reaching down in front of us. 20 reps total, my friends. So we're doing 10 on each side. And same thing here. We're not forcing anything. So if you're not as close to the floor as me, that's okay. Or maybe your hand is all the way on the floor, and that's okay too. We shouldn't be causing any pain or overstretching anywhere. But we definitely will feel that opening feeling in our adductors, in the inner thighs. And then, of course, some work in our legs, because that's what we're doing, trying to get them moving and warming up. 20. There you go. So lots up and down in our warm-up as we are headed back down for the next one. So we'll get through those 20, and then you can come on back down here. Join me on the floor for some mountain climbers. So these ones here, we're going to try to have a slow, controlled knee drive. Hold it for 2 seconds. So we go 1, 2. What we're trying to achieve here is that core activation. So we should feel lots of work happening in our core, which is why we want to go slow. Oftentimes in the mountain climbers, we kind of run and jog through them. But these ones, we're taking them slow, reaching that 90 degrees, holding it there, 1, 2, and then resetting into the plank before we drive that other knee in. 20 is our number to be. So we're doing 20 of these, 10 on each side, whatever way you want to count. And then, woo, we should be getting warm. I know I am warm over here. This one is going to be the final one of our warm-up. And we're going to stand back up. If you'd like to grab some water, whatever you want to do, because we are going to get you started on a little bit of balance work on this fine Wednesday. So as we speak here, I am setting our timer to be a running clock. So I will tell you when to switch. We're going to be spending 30 seconds on each side. We have 2 different balancing movements to go through. First one's body weight. We'll work with our single leg deadlift with the overhead reach. So the first things first, you can join me standing up, shifting all of your weight onto one leg. We want to get a soft knee, so we don't want to have a locked out leg. Soft leg, arms are beside us, 90 degrees. We can have the fingertips extended, fist in the hands. Doesn't really matter, but what does matter is this angle in the elbow. Hinging the hips back, we're going to reach the arms above the head, trying to get ourselves straight, and not straight almost. And then we'll drive that knee up to 90 degrees, again, creating those 2 angles in our limbs. 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to press start on this timer right now. Here we go. Starting on the first side. Again, we'll be working 3 chances to do this one, and it's all about balance. Of course, we're trying to practice that proper single leg deadlift technique, hinging the hips back, trying to drive the hips back behind us, reaching the arms over the head to create this straight line with our body, and then driving the knee up to the very top, 90 degrees. And yes, you're going to feel some work happening in your glutes on that standing leg. So let's switch sides right away, switching over to the other side and going into our second side right away, because there's no rest, no time on the clock to switch. It's just a running clock over here. You can't see it, but we are on our second side about halfway through. So again, we will be completing 2 more rounds of this stuff with the intention of balancing. Okay, last one, and switch. So we're back to our first side, going through our second set, which in theory should be a little bit easier than the first set, as again, we're starting to wake up, warm up all of our balancing muscles. So we'll work through this one. Second side here, I'll let you guys do your thing. Again, trying your best to challenge that balance. So if you want to challenge yourself, make it a bit harder. If you hold that end position, this one down here, you hang out there for 1, 2, maybe 3 seconds, rather than just reaching it and coming out of it, it's going to be a lot harder. So let's switch sides. Second side, second set, right away onto that second side, trying to mimic the same thing that you did on the first side. Guys, I am hot in here. It's warm out. We're reaching that nice 15 degrees yesterday. Hopefully it's the same all week. I looked at my app and it was. All right, and switch sides. So we'll go through our final set on our first side, trying our best to, again, have a nice stable positioning in our foot so that none of our foot leaves the floor. We want to keep that big toe, little toe, heel in full contact with the floor the whole time, which is also going to help us actually balance a little bit easier. So if you are struggling, that's something to think about. There you go. And give me one more on this side and switch sides. So we'll switch over to the other leg, finishing up with our final 30 seconds on the second side. Oh, the balance. So we'll work through this one, 15 seconds left. Okay, so again, hopefully you're feeling nice, strong, and stable here on this last set, as it is our last one. And it is done in 3, 2, 1, and time. Very nice work. Okay, awesome job. So what we're going to do now, we have one more balance focus movement. We are going to incorporate a dumbbell into this movement, working with our eyes closed training, which right off the bat we know is a challenge by itself. What we're going to do is shift the weight and stand on one leg. I'm going to be holding a dumbbell. If you don't have a dumbbell, I want you to grab a household item. It can be a phone, it can be a water bottle, it can be a candle, whatever you have close to you. We are going to shut our eyes, but not quite yet, because I want you to see what we're actually doing with our eyes closed. We'll be having the eyes shut and then passing this object off between our side to side. So this is going to be us for 30 seconds over here, and then we'll switch, and we have 30 seconds over here. Now, right off the bat, I want to tell you something that's going to make it a bit more challenging, which is lifting the weight or the water bottle or the object up all the way. So if you are finding this is a little easy, because again, this is something we've been working on for a while, the eyes shut balance training, that's what I want you to work on, okay? So start on whatever side you want, find your balance, soft knee, ready, and let's go. So what I would suggest is to get that moving first. Once you have that, then we'll close our eyes. Yes, okay, unless you feel like you're gonna fall over, then you can potentially keep them open. But that eye shut training amps up our balance training a lot because we don't have our vision to help assist us in that balance work, which is why we're trying to work on it. So we'll keep going on the side, a couple more times there and back. Switching in 3, 2, and switch legs. So right away, if you need to open up again when you switch to kind of again reset, get that going, and then we'll try to close our eyes. You might find one side is harder than the other. Like for me, this side is way harder, almost impossible for me to do. I might open my eyes. Hopefully that's because the other reasons going on in my life. But we'll work through this one here. 5 seconds left, so give me about 2 more. 3, 2, and switch sides. So we're back to our first side. Again, we're doing 3 rounds of this. So we'll see if we can lock this in here on the second set. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can try lifting up that object, that dumbbell, a little bit higher. 10 more seconds left. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. So we'll go on to that second side. Second set, again, we'll have 1 more after this one. And then the balance work is done, which is good news. As for most of us, this is actually pretty dang hard, especially with the eyes shut. So we'll try to keep breathing and try to brace our core. Sometimes that really does help, pulling our belly button to our spine. The stronger we can be in here, the stronger our entire body is. Okay, last set and switch. So we have 1 more final set. Back onto our first side. Seeing if we can get this going on here for our final set. So again, same thing as those deadlifts. In theory, you might be feeling that this is a little bit easier on this last set. 10 seconds left, because our body is starting to adapt and realize what's going on, what we're putting it through. 3, 2, and switch. Okay, last set, last side. So we'll try to lock it in here for this last final one. Okay, breathing through this. 20 seconds left, my friends. There you go. Okay, so we'll finish up strong here. Last 10 seconds. I know this one is always way harder than we remember it to be, for the most part. And if it's not, then good for you. 3, 2, 1, and time. And the balance work is done. Okay, so you can put that dumbbell down. Just keep it close because we are going to use those dumbbells in our conditioning work, which is what's up for the next 3 different circuits. So today we have 3 different mini circuits that are going to contain our entire session for our conditioning. Thing about these 3 circuits is that the rest is going to become more limited in each one of the circuits. So we're starting off with this first one. The next 2 are going to look a little different, although kind of similar, which you will see as we go through them. The exercises, although, are going to change. So what I'm going to do right now is start off by talking about the exercises that we're doing and the time format that we're following. For our first one, we have 60 seconds of work for our 2 movements, followed by 60 full seconds of rest. So we have 2 exercises that we're doing together, followed by 1 whole minute of rest, and we will be doing 4 sets total of these 2 exercises in our little rest round. So for this first one here, what we're going to do is set up some reference points. So we're going to be working with our lateral high knees. I will be using my dumbbells like this, set up on the floor. If you don't have dumbbells, what you can do is use bands instead. The other thing is that if your dumbbells are rounded and they kind of move around, I wouldn't suggest to use them because it's really not worth it to have them accidentally move and you step on them and roll an ankle and fall, and it's just not a good situation. So only do this if you have the Hex Stock dumbbells. If you don't, then you can grab onto bands or simply just imagine 2 lines on the floor. But I personally like having actual points to see. What we're going to be working with is our 1, 2, 3 lateral high knees for 1 minute. This is going to be us. Now the intention here is being powerful, from getting from one side to the other. So we don't want to just go through one speed like this. We want to have a clear difference getting from point A to point B, even maybe taking a bit of time on each side to kind of regroup before we power over to the other side. That's going to be the first one. Again, 60 seconds of work. Once we're finished that one, the second one is going to be down into a plank. We're going to row, which you can use 1 dumbbell or 2, and then standing up, reaching the arms up. We can add a jump in, kind of make it more like an athletic burpee, jump in, or we can step. Once we're finished a minute of this, we're resting for a minute. That's 1 round. We're doing 4, okay? So let's set ourselves up here for our lateral high knees, starting as soon as I have our timer set here, in about 10 seconds. Let me see. Okay, are you ready? Well, ready or not, we are going to get this done starting in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Nice starting beat. So we want arms and legs, breathing, trying to get the knees up. Pump the arms to help assist you be faster. And again, we want to try to think about getting from here to here quicker. So being more powerful from point A to point B, rather than just kind of going back and forth and back and forth. So we actually have a more intense and intentional sideways or lateral motion than just kind of, again, going through this at one pace. Okay, so we'll keep working through this. We have 20 seconds left. Yes, this one, we need to pace ourselves, of course, so that we don't gas out. 15 seconds left. There you are. Again, trying to get the knees up, work with those opposite arms, opposite knees, getting those 90-degree angles going. 3, 2, and time, and right into that next one. So we're going to get going right into it right away. Then you can use 2 dumbbells or 1, hands on the floor. We'll jump out or step out, row, come in, and then reach the arms, or if you'd like to crank it up a notch, you can jump for joy at the top because you're so happy to do these. So we'll work through these ones. And row, going through them again for 60 seconds, in which you have 30 seconds left of. There you go. Remembering that we'll have 1 full minute of rest after this. And that's our first round of 4. And then we are done these 2 movements, and that's always good news. 15 seconds left. So we'll try to get a couple more in. There you go. Okay, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, nice work, my friends. So now we are simply just resting for 60 seconds, and I want you to enjoy this rest, because like I said, as we go through these different circuits, this rest is going to get progressively less and less until maybe there is none for the last one. You'll see. So grab some water, do a couple laps around your mat, around your room, wherever you are right now. We have 35 seconds where all we're doing is just resting, trying to sort of regroup, setting up our dumbbells again, getting ready for that second round of that lateral high knee. All right. So we'll take these deep breaths. Now, for my low impact peeps, I kind of slightly left you hanging on the first set there, but hopefully you presume you're doing this without that jump. So we're trying to simply just drive the knees, pump the arms, although this is a lot more effective if we can actually have that hop in our step. Here we go, second set. But I get it that some of us, have reasons why we shouldn't be jumping, in which case we'll simply just take that jump out of the picture. All right, here we go. So again, I actually prefer you to get less times across your lateral high knees, but be faster and be more powerful from getting from one side to the other. 30 seconds left. Let's do it. There you go. So use your arms, use your legs. Again, we're trying to get the knees all the way up to that 90 degrees, not just at the sides, but between them as well. So as we go through, we want to drive the knees up to that hip height. 10 more seconds left. Even now, when we're starting to get tired, maybe we already were. Let's get it. Last one. 3, 2, 1, and right into the second one. So we'll go right into our jump out, or again, if we're low impact, and step out, pull it in, and then stand up nice and tall. You can reach the arms up, jump up, whatever we want to do at the top. What's very important in this one is that we're controlling that hips. Like always, whenever we're doing anything in a plank where we're lifting a limb, whether it's an arm or a leg, we want to avoid that shifting, that tilting, that turning that happens, that wants to happen rather, in our hips. 25 seconds left. There you go. So we're breathing through this, finishing strong, earning that minute of rest that we will get in 10 seconds. But we gotta hustle, push ourselves right now, especially on the second set. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so once again, all we're doing is resting right now, okay? You're gonna be feeling a lot better if you stay moving, because we know that our body doesn't like to be doing all this crazy stuff, getting the heart rate up, moving so quickly, and then just stop. It's not safe, and again, it's not going to make us feel very good. It might make us feel a little dizzy, lightheaded, and overall, just not as cool, calm, and collected as moving around. Okay, so do a couple laps. Even if you don't have space, you can simply just stand and sort of do a few of these side steps, okay, and take those deep breaths, trying to send all that air into your tummy, get in that oxygen, grab some water. 15 seconds, my friends, until we are doing set number 3, which is our second last set. So we have 2 more to go through. So within this time, we'll make sure that we, at some point, set up our dumbbells if we need them. And here we go. That was it. That seemed like a very short minute. Okay, let's do it. Timer doesn't lie. Let's get it. Set number 3, working through this third of 4 sets of these ones. Here we go. Okay, so again, we're starting to probably feel the bit more tired in this round, especially compared to, the first round that we went through, that first ambitious round. So we'll try our best to stay just as strong as we were, keep that same intensity, trying to be intentional with what's happening with our limbs, our arms, and our legs. So we're not just flailing around as we go through this, but again, we have those 90-degree angles in our arms and legs, and we're using them to help create that momentum. Last chance in this set. 3, 2, 1, and right into the next one. Let's get it. So we'll go right into our second one, our out, row, row, in. Okay, working through this one, whatever version you are doing, and we're trying to control the hips. And breathe. And pace ourselves. 30 seconds left. There we go. Okay, so we'll try to get through maybe 3 more of these whole things. The row, the up, the down, all of it. Trying to push yourself to get 2 more full rotations in, 15 more seconds left. Maybe 3 if you are ambitious. Let's get it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay, resting for a minute. Enjoy this minute of rest because we have 1 more round. And then we are done, these 2. Done this first circuit, this first mini circuit that we're doing. We're moving on to the next one, which does not have a minute of rest in between each round. So again, we'll take these deep breaths. Use this minute to again try to calm ourselves down. Also to get set up for that last part. Because as we know, those first 3 rounds, this minute actually goes a lot faster than we would like it to. So we'll make sure that we are set up and ready to start our 4th and our final set. So this is the last one, and we know, because I'm always reminding you that the last rounds are always the most important. So we're the most tired, we're done, our body's done, our brain's done, but this is when we need to push ourselves. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And trying to get the knees up, move those arms. Okay, be faster in your feet, faster in your arms. So they have to work together on this one. Okay, and again, this is our last round of these 2. Let's get it. 30 seconds left, my friend. Let's go. So again, we'll try to push ourselves so that we are getting into that very uncomfortable feeling. You know what I'm talking about. You're probably starting to feel it right now, where you feel like you want to stop, but let's try to keep pushing through. And if you're not feeling that, well, let's go faster and try to be more intense. The faster you can be, the more you're going to get out of this one. 10 seconds left. Last chance. Okay, let's go. Not stopping until we hear that beep. In 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Last one. Up and down with our rows. Let's go right away. You've already started. Come on now. Let's push ourselves through this final set. Through this final one. So we're going to get 1 whole minute of rest after this. So again, we'll earn our rest. There you are. Again, whatever version you're doing, stepping out, jumping out, whether you're jumping up or just reaching your arms up, 30 more seconds. You need to get as many times as you can. Again, we want control, especially when we're doing those rows, controlling the hips. We'll get you that little sneaky core work that we always like to throw in these movements. Last 10 seconds, my friends. Let's go. 1 more time if you can. Do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so this clock is actually going to stay running just for this last minute of rest. Within this minute here, we are going to rest, drink water, do a couple laps, and then once this minute is up, we are going to start talking and going through the next 2 exercises. So we are going to stick with that same time format. The only thing that's going to change is the rest at the end, the rest that you're doing right now. We're going to have our 2 movements for 60 seconds each, followed by a 30-second rest period. So we'll have 30 seconds of rest. And I mean, personally, I think that these next 2 movements are probably a lot more challenging than the first 2. We'll see, everyone's different. We all have a different perception of challenging, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. Okay, so second circuit rather, we are going to be going through power lunges to start. So once again, you're going to be on a timer. We are body weight, 100% for this next circuit, which is nice. You'll be, again, working with 1 minute where we're going to do 3 of these power lunges. 1, 2, 3 on this leg. And then I'm going to switch and do 1, 2, 3 on this leg. And we'll have 1 minute. So we're just going to go back and forth between us as we can in that 1 minute. Those of us who don't jump, we're simply just going to drive that knee up without actually jumping and leaving the floor. That's our first one. Second one, a bear crawl. We're going to be working with a bear crawl for that next minute. So for this bear crawl today, we are moving in a forward, backward motion. We'll be in this all 4 position, popping off our knees, opposite hand, opposite foot are going to take these little tiny steps to one end of our mat, and then we're going to go backwards, back to where we started. And that's going to be us forward and backward, moving in a more slow, controlled motion than those first lunges that we're doing for 1 minute. Once we finish that, 30 seconds of rest. That's 1 set. We are doing 4, sticking with that 4-set theme. All right, are you ready? Ready on that? We are going to start this one off. And just give me 1 second as this timer, I just need to set a little differently as we do have our 30 seconds of rest. So which is nice for you guys. You guys just kind of breathe through this. Rest it out. All right, are you ready? Okay, power lunges starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. First round. Again, we want those opposite arms. Exhaling. 3, and then we switch. Switch arms. 1, 2, 3. Trying to land soft, catching all of those lunges down low, including that last one. So we want to make sure that we're jumping, catching before we switch sides. There we go. 30 seconds left. So the burning legs are highly involved in this superset, this little mini circuit from these lunges to the bear crawls, which you'll feel, of course, when you get down there. So again, we'll try to pace ourselves. 15 seconds left, but stay moving as we go through this so that we don't just stop and, think about how much our legs are hurting. We're going to talk about a couple things to make it a bit more manageable in the next few sets. All right, right into the second one, that bear crawl. So get on down here. Again, there's no rest between them. And popping off the knees, right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Opposites work together. We want to, again, control the core and the hips. So we're not shifting, tilting. Essentially, we want to be able to doing this so stable and strong that if you had like a glass of water, resting it on your back, it would not spill, which we are not actually going to do, but we will imagine that that's happening, again, to help us tighten up and control that core stability in this one. 20 seconds left here. So I prefer you to take smaller steps, little ones over big ones, because again, that's going to help us have more control through our core, keep it more stable, and yeah, maybe make it a little harder. There you go. Breathing. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so now again, we're taking our 30 seconds of rest before we are going to repeat this and do it again onto our second set. So we have 15 seconds left. We're once again just breathing, drinking water, pondering our lives. Getting ready for our second round. Again, starting off with those power lunges in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Let's do it. Second set. Now, if you need to make these a little bit easier, what you can do is just simply not sit so low into those lunges. So if you did find that you actually couldn't make it because your legs were on fire and you were burning so much and you had to stop, rather than getting all the way down here, which is ideal, the goal eventually is we work ourselves up to it, you can sit a little higher so that you can actually maintain this and keep going for our entire 60 seconds, in which you have 30 seconds left up. So again, we're doing 3, 3, alternating sides, arms and legs working together. Let's go. Let's do it. Breathing through it. 10 seconds left. There it is. 3, 2, 1, and on to the next one. Get down there, bear crawling it out for the second minute. So again, we're hovering the knees. We want to make sure that our knees stay low. We're not shooting our butt up into the air. Now for this one, the bear crawls, they are just a very challenging exercise. Again, anytime we're involving the core and the conditioning together, we know it kind of cranks it up a notch. So if you need to make these a bit easier, what you can do is sub them for this off-knee shoulder tap. So if you tried to do the bear crawl, and again, you felt like you could not make it, because we know also that the backwards is a lot harder than the forwards, you can sub in for a shoulder tap instead of the actual crawling forward and backwards. I mean, you know what I want? I want the bear crawl. But I also want you to be able to do something. So if you do the bear crawl and you have to stop because it's so hard, I would prefer you, rather than stopping, to sub in for that shoulder tap and rest. Nice work. Okay, I know we have that little different alarm. I have my timer set a bit different, but this is your time to rest. So we'll take this 20 seconds. It's really not that much time. So again, we'll make sure we're getting in those deep breaths, staying moving, drinking water, getting ourselves ready for our third of 4 sets. So we're halfway through. We have 2 more rounds and we are done these 2, which is great news. They are pretty dang hard. All right, ready? And lunges. Let's go. Third set. Let's do it. Okay, so switching, trying to pace ourselves, doing a level of that lunge that we can maintain the whole dang time. Let's get it. There you are. Okay, so once again, we're trying to use the arms with the legs. You have to slow down and kind of think about that. Set up your arm and leg, and then work with those opposite arm, opposite legs as we go through this. That applies to the low impact, the high impact, all of us. 20 seconds left. There it is. So we'll finish strong. As much as our legs are burning, we'll try to push through, breathe through, because this is the kind of burn that you can work through, whether you like it or not. 3, 2, get on down there. Bear crawl it out. 60 seconds, let's go. It's already started, so let's do it. So again, we'll try to connect those opposite limbs, taking those little steps. So it takes us maybe a little longer to get from one side to the other. Because this one, it does not matter about how fast you go. In fact, we don't want to go fast. Because when we go fast, we tend to lose that stability and that tightness in our hips. So again, I prefer you to go slower, take smaller steps, and have more control over speed in this one. 20 seconds left, which probably, sounds all good. And then you go to do it and you realize that it's quite challenging. And that's what we're going for here. So we'll try to keep it strong here. Last 10 seconds. We're going to get our little rest round, little 30-second round. And that is in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay. Okay. We have one more set. And then we are moving on from this mini circuit to the last one, which is great news. So we have 15 seconds left. And we're just breathing, resting, drinking water, walking it off. as little time as we have that for. Starting our fourth and final set in 5 seconds. So get ready to power lunge it out, starting in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Set number 3, the last one. Let's finish strong, just as strong as we started. Okay, 3 and 3. Thinking about maybe being more powerful in those lunges. Maybe taking a little bit more time to switch legs. You even sort of take a breath in between before you start your second side so that you can have a stronger and more powerful lunge. Jump higher off the floor, be quicker getting out of that low lunge position. 30 seconds left. Let's get it. And this set is the last one, the most important one. We push ourselves. We're the most tired. Yeah, I know. I don't need to tell you that. So let's just keep working through this. 15 more seconds left. You got it. You do. Last chance. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and bear crawl. Get on down there. Finishing up with our final set of these bear crawls. Potentially the hardest thing that we're going to do all day. If you want to ask me about it, I find bear crawls are my absolute nemesis, but they are so good for us. Again, we're getting our heart rate up. We're getting that sneaky core, that stability work in our hips, and all sorts of other things. So we'll try to lock it in here, finish up strong as we can on this last set. And if you feel like you're not going to make it, do not touch those knees down. Okay, I want you to keep the knees up, and again, work with just tapping your shoulders instead of actually traveling. There ain't nobody putting their knees down. Not until we hear that ringing alarm in 20 seconds. That is going to take us into our last 30-second rest period of the session, of the circuit. 10 more seconds left. So we'll keep breathing through this because that's really all we can do right now to get through it. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so good. So we're going to take this time right now. Woo! Think about how good we feel. Just kidding. We're probably feeling very worked after that. But we are done, which always makes us feel a little bit better. So we have 10 more seconds left here where, again, all we're going to do is rest, recover, again, do a few more laps around our room. And then we have one more mini circuit that we're going to go through. Now, if you're following along, like I warned you, we don't have any rest in this last one. In fact, we have 3 exercises rather than just 2. So we're going to actually put in an exercise instead of our rest period, and we're bumping it back up to 60 seconds. So we have 3 movements, 1 minute on each, and all we're doing is cycling between these. So we really do have to hustle when we're switching, as there is no rest time on the clock between the movements or between the rounds, okay, which is also kind of nice because it means we're just going to get her done. We have 4 sets total, 1 minute on each. I'm going to talk about each one of them now before we even press start on the timer. So you can just watch me up here. You don't have to do them or follow along unless you want to, if you want to get a little practice round in. So for our first one, we have a thruster. So I'm going to be using dumbbells. Again, squat stance. Down into a squat, and we're going to push the dumbbells up above our head, and this is going to be us for 1 minute. Now again, for those of us who don't have dumbbells, you can grab some form of a household item, your water bottle, 1 dumbbell if you have it, push it over your head, holding it sideways like this, or worst case, you can just have your arms here and you can raise the roof. But ideally, we do want some weight in our hands, so if you got them, bring them out, keep them close. That is our first one. Second one, we are doing our infamous one-legged burpees. So these ones are one that we have been working on recently. Again, we'll be doing this for 60 seconds, which is quite a time to do it. So hands down on the floor, we're going to step out, step in, and try to drive right up into this knee drive. The same leg goes down, and then it steps up, so the other one comes up. And this is going to be us for 60 seconds. Last one, you have options. We want to do something toe tapping. If you have a jump rope, which I did not mention at the beginning of the class, so if it's away, don't worry about grabbing it. We can grab that. We can jump rope, we can imaginary jump rope, or we can toe tap. If you're low impact, we're going to work with our knee to elbows, or you can work with your over and back fast feet. The goal here is, again, just keep you moving, get your heart rate up, and do something a little bit more mindless than those first two, okay? So those are our 3 movements for our last circuit. Woo! We're gonna do them up, 4 sets total, and then we are done here, okay? So get yourself ready, set. You have a little bit of time, as again, I'm just gonna reset our timer so that it has 1 minute on each. Okay, so starting off with that first one, thrusters, grabbing onto our dumbbells, starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Starting our first set. So we're gonna get these done, again, trying our best to pace ourselves more than anything else so that we do not have to stop and we can keep going for this entire minute. So we want to exhale, use our legs to help push those dumbbells over our head. So we're not doing 2 different motions, a squat and a press. We want to start pressing down here so that we have the legs kind of assisting our upper body, our shoulders, to get those dumbbells up. Let's go. 30 seconds left. Do it, let's do it. Okay, so again, trying to breathe, using that exhale on the hardest part, which is when, again, when we're pushing up and out of it. So we'll inhale down, and again, exhale up. Same rules apply in this one. If you feel like your legs are on fire, you're not gonna make it, you can simply just not sit so low. Or if you wanna challenge yourself, then we'll get all the way down to 90 degrees and time. So we'll put those down right into that second one, our 1-legged burpees. So we'll try to get a little bit of balance work going on, stepping in, driving up that opposite knee. We have to sort of think about this one a little coordination going on here. 40 seconds left. Again, we are pacing ourselves here so that we do not have to stop. There you go. 25 seconds left. There it is. So again, in this one, same idea. We want to have a bit more control over speed. Because if you go too fast, you end up sort of falling and toppling over and not able to get that knee coming all the way up and down without touching the floor. So try to lock that in. 3, 2, 1, and right into that last one. So again, you have options. You can work with this toe tap in place, and you can work with your fast over and back feet. You can do your imaginary or real life jump rope if you have the jump rope close. Whatever it is, we are doing something here and that we can maintain the entire minute, okay? So again, we'll breathe through this. 30 seconds left, and keep in mind that we are going to go right into our second set. So when this timer goes off, in 25 seconds, we're gonna hustle in grabbing onto your dumbbells and getting going right again into your second set of those thrusters, okay? 15 seconds left. Yeah, no rest. There you go, I already warned you. All right, 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Right away, grabbing those dumbbells, dumbbell, water bottle, whatever you're using, and going right into our second set. Now this is where it's gonna start to get serious, challenging. We're gonna have to think about maybe pacing ourselves a little bit more. So we had no time to sort of regroup and allow our heart rate to come down, which means it's only gonna probably get more challenging from here. So we talked about, again, these ways to make these things a bit easier. You need to think of them, apply them to the set where you're next to, and not sitting so low, but staying moving the whole dang time. 20 seconds left. There it is. And breathing. A couple more. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and weights down. 1-legged burpees. We'll step out, step in, drive that knee up to the top, and alternate right side, left side. There you go. This one you kind of have to find that rhythm, and then once you find it, you don't really have to think about it as much. Sometimes we sort of need to slow her down a bit at for those first few reps, and connect that sort of opposite foot switching on each side. 30 seconds. Halfway there. There we go. So we'll breathe through this, push through this. 20 seconds. You got it. Strong finish to our second set. Let's get it. 10 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, right into our third one. Again, those quick feet, toe taps, whatever you got going on, knee to elbows. We are working with it, which is going to take us to the halfway point of this last circuit. So we only have 2 more sets, and then we are done for the day. Of course, we're going to cool down. I'll talk about a few stretches, do them, a couple of them together, a couple on your own. This is it, my friends. 30 seconds left. So we're going to pace ourselves. The harder you push yourself now in these little last one here, the harder that your next 2 sets are going to be. So again, if you're feeling like you do really want to challenge yourself, pick up your pace. Try to move faster, move quicker in your arms, your legs. But again, if you felt like you were not going to make it on this last one that we did, maybe sort of slow down a little bit and pace yourself a little slower. 3, 2, and third set. So we'll grab those dumbbells right away going into it. No rest today, not in this one at least. Let's do it. So we'll push through, starting our third of 4 sets. Oh yeah. Finishing strong. Trying to do the same thing that we did on that first round, that ambitious round. 30 seconds left. So yes, we're going to feel the legs. Yes, we're going to feel the shoulders. But overall, you need to keep pushing through that feeling. That burn, I keep saying this, but that's the burn you can work through. Whether you like it or not, you can push through that using our exhale. Get in these final few reps, this last 10 seconds, rather than stopping. Okay, try to keep going, because the more you can push yourself through that uncomfortable feeling, the better it is, because the more fit, stronger you're going to get. All right, dumbbells down, one-legged burpees. Let's go right into it. Second set, or third set. Almost crushed your hopes and dreams. Just kidding. Third round, 1 more after this. Let's go. And trying to work evenly on both sides, as well as through this entire minute. We don't want to go like so fast at the beginning that we have to stop. We want to pace ourselves. 30 seconds left. There we go. And I know it's totally easier said than done, but again, you know how you're going to feel at the end of the session when we're finished our next round, if you actually know that you gave it all you got, over the fact that you stopped just because it felt hard, and you know you probably could have kept going. We don't like that feeling. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and on to the last one. Let's do it. So working with our third movement, third round. We have 1 more set after this. We can handle this, and then we are done for the day. It's going to cool down. We'll stretch. You're free to go. But just as we knew, and we found out on those first 2 circuits, the last round's always the hardest. Okay, so again, same rules apply. If you know that you were really challenged, we can take it a little slower right now. 30 seconds left. You are in control here. What you're not in control of is stopping. I don't want you to stop. You want to keep moving. Even if you're going really slow, that's okay. I prefer that over you standing there doing nothing. Or leaning against the wall, whatever it is. 10 seconds left. All right, so when this timer goes off, we are going to get going right onto our thrusters. Last round, 3, 2, 1. Pick them up and let's go. Final set, final round. This is it, set number 4. The last one, the most important one. Let's get it. Right now. Okay, so this is it. 40 seconds left on the clock. Let's work through this one. There you go. Okay, halfway there. We got this. And using that exhale, it's pretty much the only thing that's going to help you out right now. Is exhaling out of the bottom, breathing through these, not holding your breath. 15 seconds. There we go. Okay, strong finish on this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and dumbbells down, one leg burpees. Let's go right away. Don't think about them. Just get going on our fourth and our final set. Let's do it. Hustling to get started and hustling through these. Same thing, your body knows what's going on. We have that sort of balance, that coordination set up. We've already done this 3 times. So again, maybe we can push ourselves a bit harder in this last set. Even if that means we're only doing the same speed as we did in the last set. It's all good. 25 seconds. This is it. Okay, so we'll try to go for at least one more on each side. Down with the knee drive, down, other side, knee drive. We have 10 seconds. See how many you can get here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last one. Okay, let's do it. Whatever one that you had going on the first 3 sets, this is us, and it's going to take us to the finish line. So same rules, okay? Harder to push yourself right now. The higher you can get your heart rate up, the more you're going to get out of this session. And this is your last chance, okay? So let's try not to think about how exhausted we feel right now. We're going to have lots of time to rest. In fact, we'll have all day to rest after this. So right now, again, 30 more seconds. We need you to push yourself. And we know that 30 seconds flies by. Well, it did at least when we were using it for our rest period. So let's try to push ourselves. Right here, right now, last chance. 15 seconds left. Okay, picking up your pace. Whatever you're doing right now, I'm going to add a little bit more to it, a little faster. Whatever version you're doing, high impact, low impact. Let's go. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, we are done. So I have a timer here for 2 minutes where I would highly suggest you keep moving, okay, because we know that, again, that's going to help us cool down, calm down, rest more efficiently than just stopping. And you're done, okay? So, and that's always a nice feeling. Hopefully you feel good, although I know you probably feel really hot and heavy right now. You will feel good after you sort of calm down, cool down. We are going to go through a couple of stretches. You can join in on them with me if you would like and hold them with me. Or if you need a little bit more time to rest and recover, then you can just keep moving, watch what we're doing, and then join in after you feel kind of more back to normal. You might not feel 100% normal, but again, we want to feel like we can actually talk and hold down a conversation. So right now you're probably feeling like your heart is beating out of your chest, really hot and heavy, huffing and puffing in your lungs. And so we'll try to bring that down by taking deep breaths, drinking water, and overall just taking a little bit of time to ourselves. So there are 2 very important things that we need to stretch today. First thing is going to be our calves. Okay, anytime we do lots of this jumping around stuff, we involve these muscles a lot, and they can get tight pretty easily and lead to some problems that we want to prevent by just stretching them before they get tight. So this stretch here is the one that you can start with, this sort of lunging stretch. We can set up our feet with a bit of a lunge. I'm going to close this as we always decide to weed whack the most inconvenient times. 30 to 60 seconds. So you can hold this for 30 seconds if you're short on time. That's all we're going to do here today. Or if you'd like to hold it a little bit longer, then you can hold it for 1 minute. We should again be feeling a stretch down the back of the bottom part of the leg. We also want to make sure the foot does not have an angle on it. It's forward, if not even a little bit pointed inward, which is going to help us increase that stretch. So this is the first one, and you can join me here We're going to do a 30-second hold, just one set. And same thing, if you want to get a bit more stretching out of this, then you can come back and complete maybe 2 or 3 sets total. So we'll go ahead and switch sides. If you joined me when I started that one there, holding this other side and breathing into it. So the calves, the second most important thing is going to be the hip flexors, because we did a lot of stuff today to lift up our legs, which involves the hips, as well as the bear crawls, that row, that planking row, lots of work in the core and the hips. And we oftentimes will talk about the fact that these hips, and they get tight really easily, they can lead to hip pain as well as lower back pain. So if that's something that you've ever experienced, you know that that is a terrible thing, and I want it for none of us. And so it comes down to prevention. So we can work with this half kneeling hip flexor stretch. If you find that your mat is sort of thin and flimsy, we can put something underneath our knee or simply just double up our mat like this. We want to make sure we're holding on to something, working with a pelvic tilt so that we get that nice opening stretch down the front of the hip. If you're still not really feeling it, you can reach your arm above your head. But if you're like me and your hips are already kind of tight, if you struggle with that sensitive low back, you probably don't need to lift your arm up. You probably feel this here right away. But again, everyone's body is different. And the most important thing is that you're feeling that tension. Shouldn't be pain. So if you're feeling pain, just ease off that stretch a bit. So again, same thing. We're going to do a 30-second hold on each side. But these guys will benefit from even a longer hold, maybe a 60-second hold. So if you are feeling tight here, or if you're feeling a tight low back over the past few days of training, or just today from the stuff we did, then you should definitely come back here and get a 60-second hold on each side. And again, maybe even complete 2 or 3 sets of that. So we're going to go ahead and switch sides, working with the other side. If you are choosing to reach up your arm, then I would actually full on turn around so that I can hold on still and then have that arm go up. But and whatever you're working with, we'll keep it even on both sides, even to that tension feeling through the hip. So these are the 2 stretches that we're going to do. If there's any other stretches that you want to work through, now is the perfect time, because our body's nice and warm, nice and limber. We've loosened up all of our joints, which we know is the safest time to do these holding stretches. So if you can make yourself another 2, 5, or even 10 minutes, get in a little bit more stretching, then now would be the time to shine on that. Okay, but you guys are done with me. We're going to release out of that one. And same thing if you want to go back to the other side, do another set of your calves, whatever it is, get her done, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, Tanis, hanging out in the Zoom room. I will hopefully see you tomorrow for upper body. Have a great day. Catch you next time. And my replay watchers, thank you for joining in on the replay. Hopefully you also feel good. And hopefully I will also see you soon tomorrow, maybe just in replay version, and that's okay. All right, have a great day. Get out, enjoy the sunshine, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.